Good morning, everybody. It is November the 28th, 2016, and time to kick off another week of trading. I think what's really interesting right now, especially in light of the election, about how a Trump election would be catastrophic, is all the upward revisions in the economic forecasts. The OECD just revised their economic growth figures higher based on Trump's election. And it's no secret. We listen to all these political arguments all the time about what makes an economy grow and the rest of it. What makes an economy grow and grow faster than normal is lower taxes and less rules and regulation. And it is so easy to see when the former Soviet Union broke up. They all adapted low tax policies, rules, and regulations. Ireland stands out. The Baltic states are mentioned regularly right now. Of course, you have Singapore and Hong Kong. And you saw what happened under Reagan's years. So it's pretty easy. It doesn't mean we can't have a recession. It just means that the groundwork, if these laws do get actually passed and brought into effect, that the economy is set to grow again. And I think that's why we see the change in mood and sentiment right now. We said that the first indication we would see that people believe in tomorrow, are willing to take risk, would be shifts in the consumer sentiment. We've had already a couple of reports come in that show that. So the economy is a state of mind. I remember growing up when we actually had recessions on a regular basis, inventory recessions. Their inventory control wasn't as sophisticated then as it is now, and everybody would just be producing, and they'd produce more as demand would go up, and they would keep producing, and there's always a lag time, and all of a sudden they'd produce too much, and then they would shut down the factory lines, and we'd have a recession, and it'd be over in 9 months to a year and a half, and then inventories worked off, and it's back to business as usual. Well, they haven't allowed that to happen. And the stagflation that we get, the lower and lower growth, you kind of get a rolling recession or depression depending on what industry you're in. And right now, we have a pretty soft economy. 1%, 2% growth at max. We've never experienced this before. We've never really come out of what happened in 2007 and 2008 in a historical sense. So growth revisions, forecasts are being moved up. That will also take Fed interest rate increases. That'll increase the number of those. The Fed has said that we're not going to do it as fast as anybody thinks. We'll do it when we can. December the 14th. There's now a 100% probability that the Fed will raise interest rates in. It's built into the markets. It's expected right now. So that is behind us. So things are starting to look better. And maybe we will decouple the commodity markets and everything from what the central bank is going to do next. Maybe we'll get back to normal economic fundamental analysis, which would make our job easier. Okay, treasuries are higher. We're definitely dealing with a P. I'm not too sure you can say that the rally started right there. But we are higher, and you can see that this high volume number, the market was attracted. That's our attractor right there. Magic, resting limit sells and buys against these high volume numbers. Will make you money, and the markets come back from that. So we've got support starting out in this 10 to 14 area. We've got resistance in the 20 to 24 area. And we have no news today. Probably the biggest news today will be Draghi picking up the mic, and we'll see what Mario has to say. Okay, first sell is 19 to 23. Obviously, we'd like to get it done at 23 rather than 19. And then 27 to 31 for sell 2. On the buy side, 9 to 13. And then 1 to 5. Dallas Fed is today's news. Last month it was at 6.7. Given the what's going on in the oil patch right now, the Permian Basin, etc., maybe that number will be bigger than last month. we will know at 10:30 Eastern, I believe, this morning, what that number is. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. You always, back in the old days, you have an eating contest to go to. You starve yourself before you get there, so you'll be real hungry. And then I'd read an article about these guys that win the hot dog eating contest a long time ago, and they stuffed themselves with food going into those contests to make sure that their belly is stretched and everything. So how does that work out in normal everyday guys experience? Thanksgiving's a perfect example. I mean, you just absolutely stuff yourself, or can. I OD'd on all the hors d'oeuvres, and I still managed to find room for the Thanksgiving dinner. But it was amazing how hungry I was the next couple of days after that, after stretching my belly. So that's my living proof that concept is what they say it is. Okay, looking at the bonds, 16 to 20s, number one, have a high of 29. So 23 to 27 will be sell 1. 3 to 7 will be sell 2. On the buy side, we've got support 4 to 8. Number one. So we'll make our buy 29 to 01. And our buy 2, 17 to 21. Discovered a new food that's really probably too good, and I don't really like cheesecake, but boy, pumpkin cheesecake is all right by me. I like pumpkin pie, so that's probably part of the reason, but pumpkin cheesecake is pretty darn good. If you've never had it and you see it on a menu someplace and you like pumpkin pie, give it a shot. Okay, gold has recovered a little bit, and it had been hammered. 1200 is still, as long as we stay below 1200, this thing can sell. We have rejected prices below 85, so we'll make 84, 86 by 1. Lean against that, and then 79 to 81 by 2. No news today. Driving things. I don't know how the Hillary recount will play, if it plays at all. 90 to 92, sell 1. 95, 97, sell 2. On paper, there's no way that she can win the recount. The numbers are too big, and even the White House has said this, but my guess is they're trying to delegitimize part of the Democrat plan to delegitimize Trump's presidency. He's been attacked. The peace and the peaceful transition and all that stuff lasted about 3 hours, and he's been under attack ever since, and he'll be under attack. Any and everything that he says, the current powers that be on both sides of the aisle are going to fight like hell to make sure the status quo is preserved as best they can. But it would be what they can do is delegitimize Trump's election, which I think is part of the plan. Okay, Draghi speaks at 9 a.m. this morning on the euro. He can move this thing 1 to 3 points. The euro's already had a pretty big move. Peaked in Asia. Started to sell and come down, so we've got resistance at 15 to 25, sell 1. Then 40 to 50, sell 2. On the buy side, the Asian low the other day was looks like 75, so we'll make 105.75 by 1 and 105.50 by 2. I think we're headed below 105. It doesn't happen in one day, but that's been our trading target for a long time. And I believe we'll see it, and maybe this week. But Draghi speaks at 9 a.m. Eastern, so be careful. Okay, as we've been talking about since September the 30th, OPEC couldn't work out a deal in September, but they were going to work out a deal in November. And the problem from day one has been Saudi Arabia or Sunni versus Iran or Shia. This is and how to get those two to the table is more than slightly problematic. Iran has said from day one that as long as our production is not restricted, we'll sign off on any OPEC deal, and who wouldn't? But right now you're getting down to the November 30th deadline, and something has to happen. So it looks like that the whole deal is falling apart bad enough that Saudi Arabia came out and said, well, with the economic growth that's coming in 2017, we'll be able to absorb excess production. So maybe the deal that they will announce is that we're freezing production at October or November levels, and whatever that might be. And Iran has said that they could live with 4 million barrels a day, and I believe in October Iran lifted 3.92 million barrels per day. So we're close. When OPEC can't get a deal, they fall back on the previous agreement, and it's business as usual. So anyway, crude oil is rallying off the Saudi statements that production will be absorbed no matter what in 2017, and then Algeria and the rest of them are saying we're going to get a deal. Who knows? Pretty tough to get. So here we are at 54. So we look like we're rallying 46.75, 47, so on. And this market will be subject to big news swings until the OPEC deal is known. S2 47 and a quarter, 47.50, picking up this area right here. This 47 is about 50% into these single prints, and usually we can get about 50% into single prints on crude oil and gold. On the buy side, had a low, looks like a 45.15. This new move started at basically a little before 46, so 45.75, 46 by 1. And we'll put a question mark right here at 25 to 30. Like to buy it cheaper than 45 and a quarter, 45.50 by 2. And finally, to the E-mini. Okay, the tendency that we played all last week, we wanted to be long. We wanted to find a place to get long every day. We figured the market would close higher each day, and it was pretty close to our expectations. We figured on Friday that we would make a new record close, and we did. The close the day before that was 22. I think 22.075, and I think we went out at like 27. At 22.08. The market is strong, still pointed higher. We still have the Trump rally going. Black Friday sales at retail walk-in stores was 10% behind where it was last year. But Everybody expects electronic retail sales will exceed last year by maybe 4%. And so the sales will continue into Christmas to get people into the stores. They're blaming the warm weather. No need to shop. Weather's good. You don't need new coats till the weather gets cold. And we'll see if that rings true. So really, we're right here. We're going to sell failure to get through 8 to 11. Then 14 to 16. It seems to make it about a nickel higher than the previous high. Not too much problems. 2200, 2202 by 1. Then 95, 97 by 2. As long as we stay above 2185, this market can rally. No news to speak of today. Dallas Fed. So, it'll take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that. I will be back with you as soon as possible.